Welcome to the Envision IT Extranet User Manager for SharePoint overview. What we're going to talk about today is first just a quick introduction to what the Extranet User Manager is. We're going to take you through conceptually the registration and login process, and then we're going to show you a live demonstration of that. So the three main components of the Extranet User Manager are the administration console, which is used by IT to configure the product. It's also used by the business to manage the users and groups. There's the end user components, things like the login page, disclaimer, change password, forgotten password, and then there's the registration process, which allows users to self-register on the site and also supports approval workflows. So let's have a look conceptually at what this looks like. On the left-hand side of our screen, we have an external user who wants to visit our Extranet site. And on the right-hand side, we have our business owner who's responsible for it. So let's say our external user visits our site, and the first page they're presented with is the login page. They don't have credentials yet, so they click on the link to register on the site. This takes them to the registration form, where they fill in all their information. Once they've completed and submitted that, two emails are generated. The first one is sent to the external user, thanking them for the registration, and the second one is sent to the business owner, letting them know that there's a new user needing to be approved. They click on the link in the email, it takes them into the administration components, allows them to review the registration information, and if it's satisfactory, approve the user. At this point, a second email is generated and sent to the external user, welcoming them to the site. It has a link in it for them to set their password. They click on that link, they're taken to the set password page, they enter their new password, and they're now able to return to the login page, enter their new credentials, and enter the Extranet site in SharePoint. Let's say we now have an Extranet user that returns to the site after an absence. They come to the login form, but they can't recall their credentials. They click on the forgotten password link, and it takes them to a forgotten password page. They enter their email address, and an email is generated and sent to them. In it is a link for them to set their password. Just like the welcome email, they click on their link, set their new password credentials, and they're now able to log into the site. So let's take you through that process now on an actual site. What we're looking at here is a standard AdventureWorks publishing site template on SharePoint 2010. We've set the top level site as anonymously available, and we have a private subsite underneath that. So when I click on the Access the Private area to go down into the subsite, the first thing I'm presented with is the Extranet User Manager login page. I don't have credentials currently on the site, so I click on the Register Here link. This takes me to the registration page. I fill in my information and hit Save Settings. At this point, my registration has been recorded, but I don't have an account yet on the site. An email is being sent to me thanking me for my registration, and a second email is being sent to the business owner for approval of the new account. We're now in my email inbox. The first email is the one to the person registering on the site, thanking them for their request for the account. The second email goes to the business owner, letting them know that there's a new pending approval account. They click on the link to edit the record, and they're taken to the administration component where they can review all the registration information. If everything looks correct on there, they simply change the user status from pending approval to active, make the user a member of whichever groups are appropriate, and then click OK. At this point, the account is now created, and a welcome email is sent to the registered user. Returning to my inbox, I now see my welcome email. Opening that up, I can see my account information and a link to set my password. When I click on that, I'm presented with the Update Password page. Entering my new password, clicking the Change Password link, now it sets my password and I'm all set to enter the site. Clicking on the Home link, I'm back at the anonymous area and I can once again access the private area. Again, I'm presented with the login page where I enter my new credentials. Click Login and enter the site. We can see now that I'm in the private area, logged in using the credentials that I've just registered with. If I were to repeat the sign-in process by signing in as a different user, and I'm back at the login page, but I no longer remember my credentials, I can click on the Forgotten Password link, simply enter my email address, and request a new password email. Back in my email inbox, I now see the password request email that I've generated. I open that up, click on the link to reset my password, and I'm presented with a page where I can enter my new password again. I simply enter the password, click the Change Password button, and I've now reset my credentials. Let's wrap things up by giving a quick run through on the administration component of the site. I have the ability to search users. In order to be able to edit them, I can export them out to Excels. I can also change passwords by requesting a password reset email for users, or I can even view the sites that those users have access to. I can add new users into the site through this interface as well, and I can even bulk import users if I have an Excel file to be loaded. I can also manage groups in a similar fashion, being able to search groups, open them up, edit them, see their membership and modify that, or add new groups to the system. In addition, I can define the system settings as well as the templates for each of the 4 emails that we saw. That concludes the overview of the Envision IT Extranet User Manager. Thank you.